All right, so to automate the placement of those categories, we're going to go to the Rules drop-down menu up at the top of the screen. A rule is just an automated process that automatically determines whether an incoming email matches a criteria that we have. So I'm going to go here to Manage Rules and Alerts, and I'm going to say that in the future, all emails from Jasmine Hlavak, jasmine.hlavak@ymail.com, should be categorized as Client X emails. So I go to New Rule over here on the left, choose Apply Rule on all messages I receive, and I need to find some way of identifying the email as it comes in, and then deciding what kind of process I want to take. So I click on Apply Rule on messages I receive, click Next, and the first part of my rule is whether I actually put up some sort of criteria or not, and of course what that criteria is. So for this particular instance, I'm simply going with from people or public group, and I'm specifying Jasmine Hlavak. But then maybe I stop and I think to myself, okay, well, I could do this, right? I could say from people or public group. I could click on people or public group at the bottom of the screen and put in jasmine.hlavak@ymail.com. Now, the problem with doing this is that I also have another individual who emails me named Michael Romani at ymail.com. And I might say, okay, well, I can do that too, right? I can decide to go to this jasmine.hlavak@ymail.com, and I can add another email address. Just put in a comma, semicolon, and put in michael.romani@ymail.com. And so as you can see down here, it says if the rule comes in, if the message comes in and we determine that Jasmine or Michael were the people who sent you this email, we'll categorize this for you. But this isn't a very intelligent way to work, because as my relationship with this company changes, I may deal with additional people at this company, and I'll need to keep on feeding additional email addresses into this box. Instead, my preference when I'm dealing with a client is to not check the checkbox for people or public group, but rather click the checkbox that has in the sender's address a specific word. With specific words in the sender's address means that if I click on the words specific words here and simply put in ymail.com, then anybody from the ymail.com email address will go ahead and be categorized in the same way. And specifically for things where I'm categorizing based off of clients, based off of projects where I'm dealing with a particular city, with a particular law firm, or even with a specific subset of our own company, being able to specify that there is a domain for that email address is a really powerful tool to have on hand. Then once I figure out who sends me the email or what the email is about, the other part of this rule is to click Next and to click the checkbox for assigning it to a specific category. I can click the link here, Category, and specify that all emails that come from Client X should be categorized as being Client X. Click OK, and click Next. And of course, we can put up exceptions to this. Exceptions would only be in the situation where certain people from this email account should not be categorized as Client X category. But I can't think of any of those right now, so I don't need to put up an exception of any kind. Clicking Next, I can choose Client X incoming emails as the name of this thing, and simply specify the checkbox, run this rule on messages already in the inbox, and click Finish. And what this should do is immediately apply the Client X category to all emails, as you can see right here, from Jasmine Hlavak or any other ymail.com account. Now, in the future, if I had, let's say I go here to Jasmine Hlavic's email, put it into the Client X emails folder, and then I decide to uncategorize this. This seems completely unnecessary, but follow with me here. If I right-click on her email, go to Categorize, and deselect Client X, so I know that the email from Jasmine is no longer categorized as being a Client X email, and I have many, many emails in this folder. A lot of times people will push back against using categories because there isn't a process in place to easily categorize multiple things at the same time. But actually, this is actually incredibly easy to do. I simply go to any folder I want, go to the Rules drop-down menu, and choose Manage Rules and Alerts. And I go back to that same rule that I created earlier, the Client X Incoming Emails rule. And what I'm going to do here is click on Change Rule so that I can open it up. Go to Edit Rule Settings. So I have opened up my rule, and I'm not going to change anything about this. I'm going to continue through this process, look at all the things that I had previously set up, and then I'm going to get to that last panel that we saw just a second ago where I named it Client X Incoming Emails. And I'm going to notice that if I click the checkbox here that says run this rule now on messages already in Client X emails, that this rule will now categorize anything in this folder. And I can continue through folder by folder, just simply running this rule and automatically having the category take hold for me. I can click Finish here. Outlook will run and place that new category on there of course, right up here. Where is it? Well, it's in there. You can see it right there, the little blue chip for Client X emails. And so